Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out ICP's price chart, and specifically, we are going to talk about the recent move down that not only happened in ICP, but it happened, I'm gonna say, basically across the whole market, including also Bitcoin. However, before we get into all that, we have to talk about something very important. You see, lately, it actually feels like almost everybody who used to support ICP has started losing patience, and I have seen a bunch of even YouTubers saying that they had enough, they are selling their tokens and basically moving on. So I was like, yeah, you know what, okay, let's actually talk about this. And is this really the time to sell ICP? Or maybe people are just tired because of the long sideways movement, and ICP may not be necessarily the problem. Now, before we get into all that, let me make one thing very clear. I am not here to tell you what to do with your own money. I'm just sharing how I think about my own investment, and you absolutely should make your own decisions, do your due diligence, come up with your own conclusion, okay? It's very important to understand that. Now, you see, whenever I start thinking about selling any of my tokens, I ask myself two very simple but at the same time extremely important questions. Number one, has anything fundamentally changed about the project? Question number two, if nothing has changed, would I still be thinking about selling if the market was actually going up instead of down? Now, let's answer the first question. Has anything fundamentally changed about internet computing? You see, as most of you already know, one of the biggest talking points for ICP lately has been Caffeine AI project, and we literally even in this channel talked about caffeine so many times in, I would say, almost every single update, and it has been around, I think, for it's like more than a year now, and honestly, it is becoming the centerpiece of every single thing Dfinity talks about. And you might say, well, okay, hold on. ICP isn't just about Caffeine AI. It has way more capabilities. And you know what? Yes, you are absolutely correct. But it really seems like that Dfinity has gone all in on caffeine, and whether that is going to be like a good decision or not, that's absolutely up for debate. Fair enough. But I'm just telling you what is going on. And again, it seems like that they have pretty much most of their eggs in basically one basket. And here is why I'm saying that. You see, the beauty of blockchain is that everything in here is transparent. So we can actually look on the on-chain data ourselves. And when you look at the ICP burn tokens, you are very quickly going to realize that yes, tokens are still being burned, but the burning rate has slowed way down compared to the last year. And if Dfinity has been actively pushing multiple projects besides Caffeine AI, well, okay, we would naturally expect to see some higher on-chain activities. I don't know, maybe more transactions, maybe more compute usage, more burning, basically more everything. However, that is definitely based on what we are having in here, not what is going on. So it's, I think, pretty much fair to say that at least for now, ICP's fundamental strength, or maybe weakness for that matter, depends heavily on how successful Caffeine AI turns out to be. Now, real quick, let's rewind about 8 months ago, because back then there was a lot of noise around Caffeine AI, and some people were saying, well, okay, this is basically a complete scam, and there is actually no real product behind all this. And on the other side, you had a lot of people hyping it up like it was like the best thing ever, claiming that it would solve all of the world's problems right after the launch. And if you remember, I actually made a video and said something at that time. Let's real quick check it out. Talked about my thoughts on Caffeine AI, and if you do not want to check this video, that's absolutely fair enough. Just know this, all of us are having three options about Caffeine AI. Either you believe this is going to be the perfect product and it's going to deliver all the promises, or you believe this is going to be an absolutely terrible product and it's just purely hype, Or you think this is a useful product, but it's not going to really deliver all the promises and do a perfect job. Now, for me personally, I am a big fan of ICP and I love what they are bringing to the table. However, I'm not really blind. I'm going to argue there is a decent chance that this is not going to be the perfect product and it is going to be just a useful tool, but again, it's not really going to do the perfect job. Okay, so as you can see, even back then, I said, look, the truth most likely is somewhere in the middle, meaning, yes, the product actually exists and it is probably going to be useful, but you shouldn't really expect it to be perfect right out of the bat. Early versions of any technology usually comes with bugs, rough edges, and limited features, and that's totally normal. Adoption actually takes time. And what actually happened? Well, now we can say for sure that the product does indeed exist. It is fully live and anybody can now use it publicly. And I will admit that Dominic Williams wasn't actually great with the timelines because honestly, if you remember, the launch dates actually kept shifting every single time. And that, I will fully admit, definitely hurts the hype. But personally, I don't really think that's like such an insanely huge deal. If we were in a bull market right now, no one would even be talking about those days and people would probably be praising caffeine instead. So to me, this frustration that right now we are seeing in the community, I think it has actually much more to do with the price action than fundamentals. And let's be honest, also every, I would say, altcoin right now has seen a downtrend lately, and it is not like ICP is the only one struggling while, I don't know, maybe the rest of the market is absolutely moaning. Nope, it is just the phase that we are in currently. So if people are deciding to sell just because the price has been dropping, well, okay, that's not really enough of a reason for me personally, and I don't really want to make emotional decisions just because the market is red right now. Now, based on what we said earlier and the fact that ICP is essentially putting all its eggs on one basket and that basket is called Caffeine AI, well, okay, I guess this is our big question. Has caffeine actually been a successful product so far, or are people selling because they are thinking that it hasn't lived up to the expectations? And the truth, well, you see, we have just officially launched and it is like way too early to call it success or maybe a failure. The subscription model hasn't even been rolled out yet, so we don't really have, at least right now, any solid adoption data to analyze. Once that is live, okay, we will probably need at least, I'm gonna say, yes, 6 months to about a year to really understand how much traction this product is actually getting. But for now, based on what we have tested and seen firsthand, I think that caffeine actually works quite smoothly and there haven't been like any major issues or red flags. The pricing model for subscription, I would say, yeah, it does actually seem fair and competitive, and the user experience definitely feels quite stable. So at this stage, everything seems to be going according to the plan, and there's like nothing overly exciting yet, but at the same time, there's also nothing necessarily concerning. Now, another topic that has been popping up recently a lot is ICP's tokenomics. You see, many people keep pointing out that ICP doesn't actually have a cap supply, meaning it is technically overall going to be inflationary. And yes, you're absolutely correct. From one angle, that can be seen as a weakness. But honestly, I don't really think that this is actually something new. ICP's token model has always been this way, even back when the prices were like much higher. And I don't really remember anybody talking about this issue back then. That's why I'm gonna say, yeah, probably most of the current negativity around ICP actually comes from emotions because, well, the prices are low, people are frustrated. I fully understand this, and they are starting to highlight things that were always there but didn't really seem to matter before. So for me personally, well, this isn't really a solid reason to sell. Nothing has fundamentally changed, and if the same tokenomics weren't a problem in the past when the prices were, I don't know, maybe somewhere around $10 to $15, it's not really going to be a problem right now. So after going through every single thing that we have talked about, I think the answer to our main question is very much clear. Nothing has changed fundamentally, and the technology, the vision, the progress, they all are still fully on track. And when it comes to that second question, would people actually be saying the same things if we were in an altcoin bull run? Well, I'm gonna say, yeah, probably not. In fact, most of these negatives would have been spun, I would say, probably in a positive way if the prices were rising, and that's just how the market psychology works. So I'm gonna be fully honest with you. Selling at these levels doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, just from my point of view. Okay, it's very, very important to understand that. I would rather use this time to just DCA, slowly but surely accumulate, and just wait patiently for the next altcoin cycle to play out. But of course, everybody has their own strategy. If somebody decides to sell, that is absolutely 100% their own choice. It is like 100% their money and their risk. But I think it is definitely worth asking one honest question first. Are you selling everything? Meaning you are completely done with the crypto market for now. And if that's the case, well, okay, absolutely fair enough. You are just following your plan. More power to you. Or are you planning on only selling your ICP tokens while still holding other altcoins? Because if that's the case, well, okay, maybe you should reconsider your strategy and think about exactly what you are doing. What makes ICP weaker than the other projects right now? If there is no strong logical reason behind that decision, okay, then maybe the urge to sell your bags is going to be more emotional as opposed to rational. And for me, that's really the key difference. And that's actually why, at least for now, I'm staying put and waiting for the bigger picture to play out. And it's very, very important to always consider and remember the bigger picture. Okay, remember that there will be a period of time where altcoins are going to absolutely outperform BTC, and whether that is going to be like a full-blown altcoin season like the one that we had in 2017, or maybe the one that we had in 2021, you know what, that can be up for debate. All I know is this: I like to choose projects with solid fundamentals, and I don't really want to choose some meme coins to have maybe like a 400-500% profit, because there's actually a chance that in the cycle we are not going to see every single thing going up. And in that case, I'm willing to argue the projects with better fundamentals are actually going to be the one to outperform the others. So that, my friends, is one very important reason for why I like ICP. And after saying all this, if you still want to sell your tokens, you know what, more power to you. I don't really have anything against you. Just go according to your strategy and don't make emotional decisions. And that absolutely is enough for me. Now, in terms of what I'm doing, well, I told you earlier, since the price is actually going down alongside a lot of other altcoins, I feel like I should say that in every single update, I'm actually DCAing constantly in order to get my average purchase as low as possible. And right now it is somewhere around $3.45, which is about basically 20% away from the current point. So if we end up going down a little bit more in ICP, I am definitely going to take advantage of that, because again, my overall picture hasn't really changed a whole lot. I still believe that altcoins will soon outperform BTC a little bit, and in ICP, I still do believe on a beautiful move on the upside. Having said that though, now I really cannot deny the fact that, okay, even if you want to not consider this shadow writing here, well, okay, now we definitely can say, look, in ICP, we took this important low, and the scenario that we were considering suggesting this is 5-wave up followed by a correction down, and then we are going to have another move on the upside, is like absolutely 100% not in play anymore, which is really, really sad. And that is going to make me say, yeah, you know what, if we are going to get an altcoin bull run, it's not probably going to be like a two-stage setup. Okay, odds are if we are going to get one, it's just going to be something like this: a 1 2 3 4 5 very quick and a strong move on the upside, and the bare minimum target in case of ICP is going to be taking the highest side in here, about let's say $20.50. And again, this is going to happen in relatively short period of time, and that will basically it. And then we are going to get in a very slow and a steady move on the downside, and it is going to be extremely annoying. Who knows, maybe not as annoying as what we had back in this space. So bottom line is, in ICP, in terms of fundamentals, I don't really believe anything has changed. In terms of technical analysis, yes, we did actually broke this 1-2 structure. However, that just changes my perspective on how we are going to get into some sort of an altcoin season in a way that is not going to be a 2 or 3 stage setup. We're not going to have like a massive move up and then consolidation and then another move up and then consolidation and another move on the upside. This right now, based on what I'm seeing, is not really going to be on the table, not only in case of ICP, but probably in a lot of other altcoins as well. The recent crashing event honestly did change a lot, and this is making me say, you know what, if you're going to get an alt season, it is going to happen rather quickly. So since I fully understand that I'm not perfect and I'm not able to catch the absolute lows, the best way for me to prepare for that move on the upside is just to slowly but surely do some DCA and get my average purchase as low as possible. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Internet Computer's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.